Cool.
I don't know.
You ready?
Yeah, man. Happy New Year.
I haven't seen you since last year. You're right.
Yeah, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year, guys. Yeah.
I'll be in a minute. I got you something.
Already?
Yeah, I got you something.
Wait, hold on. No, I got something for you as well.
Really?
Remember the last one I said that I got something to give you?
Yeah.
I got you physical copy of Broforce.
Oh, wicked.
We play it all the time, so Merry Christmas, man.
Thanks, man. I got you something too.
What's that?
I got you the physical copy of Broforce as well.
But you got me the deluxe version.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the deluxe? What makes it deluxe?
It comes in a box and you get the game, and I think the soundtrack's in there as well.
Soundtrack? No way.
No, man.
Broforcing all the way home.
Yeah, dude, like we're talking, man.
Huh? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hey man, thank you so much.
No worries, man. Thanks so much.
Okay, so we got There's no digital download.
That's a proper Wario laugh there, man.
Yeah, evil laugh.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to SRG, a2z. This is Z, I'm Andy, and we welcome back Ryan here today.
Ryan, welcome back, man.
Thank you for having me again.
Cool.
Shake my hand. Happy New Year.
And you, Christmas, New Year's.
That's so hard.
No, so
Retro gaming collections.
Are we talking about that?
It's 2025, and I wanted to bring up a topic which is personal to me. That is, should you start a retro gaming collection in 2025? Thoughts?
well, okay. So
You go.
I'll go a little bit further back. So, like I said to you, how we met is from your experience setting it up. So, if you didn't set it up, then we wouldn't have met each other. So,
Take a step back. What he's saying by set it up means we used to run retro gaming events, which is where we all basically met. Well, not we, but these guys were already friends. They came to one of the retro gaming events that I set up. This is back in 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
I had a slot, I suppose, at in a pub in East London, a gaming pub. I don't know if it's still there or not. I've no idea. But the events were run by myself, my brother, and we used to bring all of our consoles down, and we had a collection of, I mean, you guys know, we've got a collection of like maybe 14 or 15 different types of consoles. It's grown since then, but that's how we originally met.
So without that happening, then this would happen. So you can see how it's branched off and got bigger. So 2025, if you've got like time, I guess, to do it, then why not? Like, what's the worst that can happen if you enjoy gaming and you enjoy doing that kind of thing?
Okay.
Question for you: what would be your console of choice if you were to start a?
It's right there.
The N64.
The N64.
The N64.
I just believe I could be wrong, but I remember back in the days when you used to play all the consoles, they only had 2 controller slots.
Yeah.
So, like we were saying before in a previous episode, it was like one on, one off kind of thing. But when this came out, it had 4, and you're just like, yeah, now I need to get more controllers so I can have more people playing at the same time. All the games that we used to like playing, the FIFA games, the Mario Kart games, the wrestling games, like GoldenEye, everyone could play. So that would be more fun. Straight away you can get more people involved. Now it's different, you've got online, it's limitless how many people can play. But for console from there, yeah, I think the N64 would be my start off point.
Okay.
Cool.
So you would you just go for the N64 by itself, or would you be like, I know I want a Super Nintendo, I want a Mega Drive, I want a Master System, I want a Game Boy and a GameCube and a PS1 and a 2 and an Xbox 360?
I don't know. I think I'll start off with the N64 and probably go to the GameCube. For my nostalgia part, it'll probably be the Master System 2 I'll have there, because that's probably the first proper console I had. So I'll probably start with that one, just as a little bit of this is where it kind of started. But mainly Nintendo, probably Nintendo's and into the Xboxes. I've never been a massive fan of PlayStation. It's a bit controversial. I'm not, but yeah, the Wii as well. I love the Wii, just interactiveness of it. It just brought gaming a little bit more fun, more of an arcadey kind of feel, but more fun as well. Everyone could play. Didn't matter if you was into games or not. You get that nunchucking, you get that going. Anyone can learn how to do it. So the interaction part was good, and I think Nintendo was really good for that as well, bringing more people together to play. Yeah,
it's
a lot more.
It's definitely one of the fun consoles. Definitely one of the more fun consoles in comparison to, at the time, the PlayStations and the Xboxes. The Wii for me was very different. again, anyone can pick it up. My mum used to play the Wii. The last console my mum played was the Super Nintendo. She wouldn't play my PlayStation or anything, but because it was so easy to like play tennis or to do a bit of yoga, the Wii Fit, she loved it.
You had yoga on it?
On the Wii Fit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the balance board they had, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to buy one of those things.
Right, I had to go to Portugal.
Trying to get one of those in the UK, Jesus.
Man.
So if you were going to start a collection, would you start with the Wii?
I wouldn't. I would go for the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So
why?
It's, I think, it's the fastest or the biggest selling console worldwide. I think the Switch just took it over in North America.
And more recently in Spain, I believe, as well.
Oh, it's catching up. But it's taken that console that long to be at the top of its tier. You've got an abundance of games wherever you look. I mean, if you go to the likes of CEX, on Marketplace, go into charity shops, there's games galore. They're
For our non-UK people, CEX is a brand here in the UK. It's a store where you can buy and sell and exchange second-hand games and consoles.
Kind of like, I'm guessing, like the old Electronics Boutique Game. Any other stores worldwide that you know that compares?
GameStop.
Oh, GameStop, perfect. So yeah, a UK kind of GameStop. Just got abundance of games. They're relative. I think the consoles are moderately cheap enough to pick up if you pick up, a half decent one. And yeah, that's the only reason why. The massive amount of games, and I like PlayStation.
So you've just recently started collecting the PS2, haven't you?
Yeah, well, restarted my collection. Yeah.
So where are you up to now?
25 games.
Okay. How many consoles?
One.
No, that's all right. How many accessories?
I've got, I think, 3 controllers. One of them I threw away because the cable cord was tearing.
Right. So you threw it away?
Yeah, it kept malfunctioning.
Hearing that hurt.
It kept malfunctioning, man. I'm sorry.
I would have got it repaired.
No good's got to go.
Threw it away.
No good got to go.
That's cold.
No good got to go.
I don't know. It might have cost me more to get it repaired than to get a replacement thing. But I don't know.
We've got to keep these things alive. We're not making any more of them. That's the whole point. Throw it away.
Okay, fair. I'm sorry to the wrong.
This is actually his last pod. So Ryan,
it's
an open slot. It's a permanent open slot. You're welcome.
That's an application form.
If this is my last time, it's been fun. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for putting on my hair. I know it's a bit shorter right now, but thank you so much. But accessories, I've got, I think, 2 memory cards, 1 official, 1 non-official.
Okay. So, your PS2, your N64.
Yeah.
Is it the console itself? Is it the games? Is it the accessories? What's the reason that you picked the N64? What's the reason that you picked the PS2? Ryan, you first.
I think for the N64, for me, it was a console that, 1, I liked the games. 2, I still don't think they made a better control pad for me.
Okay.
I think that's the most comfortable control pad to play with, and plus it was better because back then I used to play a lot of it with my dad as well, and he was never into games. So yeah, look, that's just how it sits and how it is. I just feel, just like when you first looked at it and you was like, well, what's that?
I remember when this first came out.
He was like, what is that?
I remember in school, we were like, that's a piece of crap.
Yeah,
this will never work.
Until you played it and you were just like, oh, everything just fits.
Yeah.
But you know why the mid-center joystick worked? Why it was so successful? It's not because it's analog. So if you pay really close attention, if you look around the outside of how it's notched.
Yeah.
It's those notches that is painted to Nintendo. No one else can use those notches anywhere at all. Is there any notches on that?
No.
On the Nintendo Switch. So if you can feel them on the game, on the
Seriously?
N64, that's what made the difference. Because there was analog joysticks before the N64, but none of them worked. Because people weren't used to it.
Yeah, it was hard.
So the notches gave people a psychological, I don't know what's the word.
Advantage?
Yeah, basically it's like, I know where it is. I know they could feel the notch, so they could move it around. That's what made this actually very, very successful.
Well, I didn't know that.
And I feel like, with that analog part, when you're actually playing shooter games, that made it so much more easier to move and just maneuver. And driving games were a little bit more fun with. It was hard playing the first FIFA game with it, so I was just used to like up, down, left, right. But when you could go in like running diagonals and stuff, it made it a little bit more. Oh, this is a bit more free. It's a bit more freer. So that's the reason why for me.
I've got a question for you. Was there any game where you actually used the D-pad over the joystick?
On the 64?
On the 64?
No, not that I can remember. If I had because when I got used to it, going back to using the D-pad, it felt like I'm just going in straight lines again. And I'm just like, no, I don't need to use that. It got to a part in some games where you had to use it to go into like your accessory bag to get straight out, and I'm just like moving the hand over. I didn't want to take it off from there. And it's just like, oh crap, got to press it from there. But then you can modify it. So you got like the 3 kind of like the 4 triangles of the yellow ones. You can actually move it. So the
directional buttons,
some of the games became redundant.
Yeah.
It was just there.
Yeah.
And if it broke, you're just like, alright, as long as the analog works and this side works, I don't need to worry about that.
Okay. See, that's really weird because sorry to cut you off.
That's alright.
I only used to play fighting games with a D-pad. I couldn't get used to the joystick.
Same, 100%, even to this day.
Yeah. If I was to play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, D-pad.
I can't do it. I can't do the moves with the joysticks.
Even with saying the Q64.
Yeah.
How long did it take to do one fireball?
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's true. Yeah, I don't play fighting games like that, so it never bothered me.
Yeah.
Like side screen fighting games. I was never really into those kind of games. I could appreciate them.
Yeah.
But I was never more into them.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Awesome. So it's the N64 controller for you?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
For me, again, the PS2, range of games, one game in particular I want to give a shout out to is Enter the Matrix. I think when that came out, when that came out, my friends I used to live on my street, they got it and they're like, yo, I've got a new Matrix game. I'm like, cool. Friday night, I don't think my parents told me Friday night, all the Saturday and all the Saturday night, we just played it. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was such a good game. You've never played Enter the Matrix?
I think I played. I don't remember playing that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll grab my PS2.
But it's on a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably why.
Okay.
That's probably why.
I'll grab my PS.
That's probably why.
I'll grab my PS2 for my parents. I'll try and find my copy of Enter the Matrix and we'll play it one time. It's a really good game. For me, it's one of the best games on the console. And another game I really liked playing was, was that the PS3? Scarface was on the PS3, wasn't it? Or was
That's
that
a good game. That's
No
a
idea.
That's a good game on the Wii.
Yeah. And that as well. But again, it's just the range of games, and I just had more fun playing that console than any other console, any PlayStation, anything like that.
So it's the games for you on the PS2?
Yeah.
Alright, nice.
Massive range of it.
I'm going to give my take on you guys. Not you guys personally.
Oh, but thanks, man. It's therapy, yeah?
I love you guys. I love you guys.
It'll be a long podcast.
Yeah.
The N64, I think it's not the best console out there. I'm not a big fan of the N64. The device itself, I think, is fantastic. I love the fact it's got 4 controller ports. It's great. I think the joystick the controller is excellent. I did use the D-pad all the time for fighting games and certain bits and pieces. I find it very difficult with the middle stick. Now, the reason why I love the N64 is it comes in different colours.
That as well, yeah.
In blue, in
and
orange,
controllers as well, yeah.
So if you look on our Instagram on Super Retro Games, not Super Retro Gamer, my N64 that I've had imported in from the US is on there. It's basically been stripped down and it's been modded so it plays international games. The front actually lights up when you turn it on, but it's painted in Lamborghini paint, the actual paint that the car gets painted in. It says metallic red. And that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with the N64, because I was like, I could customize it in that way. Now, yes, you can customize other consoles, but there was something about the shape and the lines and the style of it that really, really, really gets me. So that's what I really enjoy. The biggest downside for me is just the lack of games. There's just not that many games.
Did you find that when it first came out, the lack of games, but when they were out, they were so expensive?
Well, they were. From what I remember, they were about. So the Super Nintendo games used to be around about £25 to £35. These games they started at $49.99.
Yeah.
And they went up from there.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons why I didn't buy the N64 when it was new. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time, her dad got her one, and I was like, sweet, we can sit and play N64 all the time. And I remember I bought all the accessories and whatnot for hers. So N64, it's a great device, and I've got quite a few in my collection now. I've got quite a few of the games as well, which is good. Problem is, they are so expensive now.
Yeah.
The games are unbelievably expensive, especially like you get, is it Conker's Bad Fur Day or Fur Day Conker, whatever it's called? That game is unbelievably expensive. It's so expensive.
Any reason why?
It's just a rare game.
Okay.
It's also a very fun game. I've got it in my collection, but just the actual cartridge.
Right.
So I don't have the box, the manual, or anything like that. I don't know how much they go for. But that's the downside to some of these consoles, that they're cartridge based. There's limited games on there, so as a result, the cost goes up.
Yeah.
So that's on the downsides of this.
Yeah.
PS2. fantastic console. Really, really good. I'm absolutely, totally, completely in love with the PS2 Slim. Not the original big chunky one, the Slim version.
Okay.
Any reason why?
Yeah, I just think it looks so much sleeker.
Right.
It's so smooth. So if you can get the pink one or the blue one, those colors and the way it's painted, it's just such good quality. Space-wise, it's significantly smaller than the original PS2,
100%.
which I don't know. There's something about it that makes me look at it and go, "That's a really nice piece of kit." And I remember when I originally got the pink one. So I've got a pink one with the pink controllers boxed in the original pink box, right? And I refused to touch it because I'm like, I remember I had it professionally cleaned and packed away in its visit. And I'm like, I'm never opening it again. But it's something which I've got in my collection, sorry?
That's dedication.
Yeah, man.
Professionally clean everything, man.
But for me, that was like, it's such a nice device to have that sits there. Now I've got a silver PS2, the original boxy, the big one. I've got a black one and so on and so forth. But if I was looking at the N64 and the PS2, I would, emotionally, I go towards the N64.
Yeah.
But the PS2 is so much cheaper because there are so many of them.
Yeah.
That's true. And
so many games.
Yeah.
Wow. There are unbelievable amounts of games there. Like, you can go to a games fair, a games market, and literally just be like, I've got, I don't know, $100, £100, €100, whatever currency you've got, and you can come home with 50 games.
Yeah, that's one 64 game probably.
Yeah, which is what's so good about doing that. So that's my take on this.
So, I mean, we've talked about how we start our own collection. How do you restart yours?
I would restart it differently. I think the way I've done it is wrong.
Why?
Basically. I've gone too broad. I've got too many consoles.
And a good thing though?
Sorry?
And a good thing?
Well, again, it depends how you want to do it and what makes you happy. This is what I think is like, if you're going to start a retro gaming collection, guys, do what makes you happy. Don't do it because we think something. Don't do it because your best friend or someone down the street is doing the same thing or is saying anything online. Do what makes you happy. Now, the irony is, how do I enjoy consoles? It's actually not actually sitting there and playing them. I like having the physical device. I really enjoy having the console itself. So I get a lot of pleasure out of looking at this, cleaning it, checking it out, opening it up, sort of cleaning it, making sure it works correctly, and then sort of wrapping up in a big nappy or a diaper and storing it away somewhere. So how would I start a collection now? I would use one console and do depth in that. As many games, as many accessories as I can possibly find. Which one would I pick? That's a difficult choice for me.
I think, to put you on the spot, go for it. Quick fire.
I think I would probably start with something like the Sega Dreamcast.
Ooh, okay. Wouldn't that games be expensive?
So it's a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But there's enough games for me to get started on, because the Dreamcast was actually one of the consoles that I had when it was new. I didn't have the N64, I didn't have the PS1, I didn't have the PS2. I came back into the scene with the PS3.
Right.
Okay.
And then I bounced around with some Xboxes and so on and so forth. But I think I wouldn't start with the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive, because they're like my first loves. But they're just too expensive now. The games that I want to play, that I want on them, they're so expensive. I wouldn't recommend anyone to start with that, because you'll burn your bank very quickly. Yeah. So I would recommend starting something which makes you happy, that you enjoy. Buy a few games, buy a few accessories, and just go from there.
Yeah.
But don't worry about getting every single console under the sun. So for me, Dreamcast, I'd get Quake 3 Arena, Crazy Taxi, Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble.
And you know what? Those 3 games alone, you can pick them up quite cheap. There's so many of them. I wouldn't worry too much about getting them in the right case and all the manuals and everything. Instead, just get the game and play it. Have fun with it. Do what makes you happy.
That's a good note to finish on. Well, thanks. It's been an interesting conversation. Hope you guys have taken some nuggets from our advice, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.